Lahren has received quite a bit of backlash over her Halloween costume because she used Halloween as an opportunity to try to dunk on Representative Ocasio-Cortez, but it backfired and there was a lot of backlash. So here's what she tweeted out. I decided to dress up as the person who scares me the most, the Democratic dimwit darling, socialist loving, freedom hating, former bartender herself, AOC. So then she posts a picture of her costume. And then of course the backlash begins. But before I get to the backlash, I do want to share a small snippet of a recent debate that I had with her at Politicon, because she said something that goes against what she actually practices in real life. Take a look.
When we're talking about rhetoric, let's be fair, you coined me white power Barbie a couple of years ago. Had never met me. So that's what a lot of conservatives go through, is that you never met us, you never talked to us, you look at our viewpoints, and all of a sudden you can say I don't agree with her politics, you can say I don't agree with what she says, I don't like the facts that she uses, I don't like her support for this president. But when you blanketly just call somebody a white power Barbie or a white nationalist because you disagree with their politics, that's going too far.
So I did call her white power Barbie back in 2016. I do want to share that tweet with you. I told her, make no mistake, white power Barbie, I'd be just as vicious toward you in person. And then that label did stick and people started using it and she doesn't like it. And so her argument is, you didn't even know me and you said all these terrible things about me. But she doesn't know AOC and she's saying that she's a dimwit when in reality she is a woman in Congress who is proposing detailed legislation, who's fighting for the disenfranchised, for the powerless. And in the debate, she had a hard time understanding what anecdotal evidence is. So for you to call someone else a dimwit, it just seems a little strange, so ironic.
Yeah, so AOC, here's an incredibly strong woman who pulled off one of the greatest political upsets in American history, literally. Okay, who then has aggressively questioned Trump officials to the point where even the right wing wrote, well, we're a little impressed, okay? And then single-handedly moved the Green New Deal into a national conversation. So did other people fight for on the climate crisis before? Of course, Ed Markey, Bernie Sanders, Governor Inslee, etc. But she is the one that introduced the idea of the Green New Deal. She did a sit-in in Pelosi's office and popularized it, right? And so I know AOC a little bit from obviously the campaign, and she was just a Democrat, and we had plenty of conversations, and we prepared for some of the debates together. Okay, it's the Crowley debates, and she is absolutely on point on all of these policy issues. She knew her stuff inside and out and arguably brilliant. But she's a young woman, so they call her a dimwit anyway. They call her that no matter what she does, no matter how detailed her proposals are, no matter how good her questions are, no matter what she does, they call her a dimwit. I mean, we showed you Don Young earlier in the show. The guy is one of the dumbest people you've ever met. I can say that about how many Republicans. Donald Trump, are you kidding me? Yep. The other day, when they got al-Baghdadi, he does a press conference and he's like, normally you go through a front door, but they blasted the side of the compound. Nobody would think of that. Normally you go knock knock.
Brilliant, brilliant man.
You know what? I think that I'm not gonna even dignify Tomi Lahren's foolishness by trying to justify or qualify AOC's greatness when it has been documented and it will go down in the history books, right? So there's no need to even say all of the great things that AOC has done, because that's why she's tweeting it, because she's jealous, because AOC has way many more followers than her. She's got a cult following of people who really respect her and understand her. She's got a group of haters that hate her because they're scared of her, not because she's a dimwit. But what I want to say also is, those of you who follow these conservatives and think that these people are the people you want to follow and respect and you listen to, read the tweet. And when she called her a former bartender, she's talking about people that go to work right? People that go to work and are not getting their just due. And that's a lot of people in this country, right? There is not a few people who are in the service industry. The service industry is a big industry that supports your daily, your
enjoyment
and your existence every day, everywhere you go. So first of all, she told you, how could you say something about me without knowing me? What about, you don't know those immigrants, those that you talk about all the time? You don't know Colin Kaepernick and you've dissed him. You don't know the people on the island of Puerto Rico and you've talked about them. How dare you use your mouth to tell somebody, how could you talk about me without knowing me when you have built a career and you're not a real journalist. Listen to the stuff that comes out of your mouth. It is not based on facts. It's all emotional rhetoric to move the people who you indirectly insult every day because you don't believe they're intelligent enough to go do research and find out facts about the things that you talk about. And if you ask me, she didn't look like AOC. She looked like a young Sarah Palin. And I was right on, homegirl.
So first of all, preach it, Aida.
Yes.
Okay, but second of all, look, guys, I don't have a problem with the costume. So you want to dress up as AOC, who cares? I don't care. The Karl Marx thing, I don't care at all, right? And I'm not nitpicking any of that. The dimwit thing is part of a talking point that they do to purposely belittle her, and which they don't do to men. Keep it real, okay? They've called Bernie every name in the book, but they haven't called him dimwit, right? So why do they say that about AOC? And you know, and their policies are nearly identical, okay? And the bartender thing, and so a lot of people went off on her on Twitter because of the bartender thing, and so she had to backpedal out of that and say, well, look, that's the least objectionable thing about her. Oh, okay,
yeah, this is what she said. I mean this truly and sincerely. Being a former bartender is the best and most admirable thing about AOC.
Yeah. In other words, backpedal. I got caught, basically looking down on people.
But when you look at AOC's tweets, the people who question her intelligence are always the dumbest people on the planet, insulting her, calling her unintelligent. And then you go through their timelines and you're like,
I know, Ida, but you know what? That ideology, that way of belittling AOC, unfortunately does catch on with people who aren't necessarily bad people, but they're not as politically savvy. Maybe they're not paying close attention. I've heard that criticism about AOC regurgitated by people who just don't know better. And it's sick because this is a way of tearing women down. This is a way of allowing for sexism to persist.
Exactly, and to your point, Ida, the people who are saying it almost always back Donald Trump, the guy who thinks that windmills cause cancer because of their noise, and thought the Kurds betrayed us because they didn't show up at Normandy.
Count Kamala's evil, Hillary's evil, Elizabeth's not assertive, AOC's a dimwit, Ilhan is, it goes on.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.